I come out of a conservative context where I had a guy ask me in all seriousness, or not ask me, he told me in all seriousness that because I was a woman, my brain was smaller and it was unable to reason as fully as his. And he grounded all of this in Scripture and in the idea of what it means to be a biblical woman.
I think of John Piper. I think of Biblical Manhood and Womanhood. I think of the Gospel Coalition.
I wouldn't tie biblical womanhood to any sort of particular role of helpmate.
I think of those who have a particular slant on biblical womanhood.
Biblical womanhood encapsulated this idea that women are called to a separate role from men.
There were people that considered women in ministry inappropriate, and we had people leave the church.
A lot of it was gender roles. A lot of it was trying to box in women and say that it was God's idea for women to only do one thing.
But what it's been, I'd say, packaged as in the evangelical church largely is the gender norms.
And that primary role is being a wife and a mother under the authority of their husbands and the male church leaders.
You get this idea that to be a biblical woman, you're supposed to be beautiful and submissive and all of these things.
I would then challenge that position to say, if we're going to talk about biblical womanhood, let's talk about all the pertinent passages in Scripture which bear upon the question of biblical womanhood.
You know, I feel like women were kind of sidelined.
But I think young people are really vulnerable to that in church when you're just accepting what you're told as truth.
There isn't, in my opinion, biblical womanhood and biblical manhood. There's biblical personhood.
On my notebook, I had a little, basically a sticky note, and it said, I am a child of God, I am saved by His grace, and I have been called for kingdom purposes. That's who I am.